The tree, I'll make that my, my anchor, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. That's about the right height. I want to make sure when I bring it over it's going to fit in the magnet. And here, this name, I'm going to just make sure that if I move this over, it's going to fit in that space. And again, I'm eyeballing it, but I promise when I align it, it'll fit centered in there, okay? So my anchor, I'm going to use the tree as my anchor, and I'm going to hold the control key down and select my text and the author of the poem. Using my alignment tools, I'm going to simply line them up vertically. Obviously that looks kind of goofy, but I can use my spacing tool and it'll evenly space it out. See that? 2 quick clicks of the buttons and we've got it all spaced out. Okay. Anybody want me to do that over again? Want me to do that again? Yeah. Okay. Let me back up. Alright, so I just eyeballed it to make sure that the tree's going to fit up here and the name's going to fit in down there. I don't care if my tree is a little bit too close to the top and the name is maybe a little bit further from the bottom, because I'm going to center that all up when I'm done. But I want to make sure it fits. And I can just eyeball that. So I eyeballed that. I'm selecting my tree first as the anchor. Anything else I select after that, holding my control key down, is going to move relative to that anchor. I'll use my alignment tool here to vertically align them. That's like if you were to draw a line right down the center, they'd be all centered. Okay, so now they're centered along the vertical line, okay? But I want to space them so that they're all spaced out evenly. And this is your vertical spacing button. If I click that, now the space right here is the same as the space right down there. Okay? Yes?
And you still have to be holding the control key down when you do that?
They're still all selected, so I can, as soon as I've selected everything, I can let go of that control key. Okay? And we don't have to push on that control key until the blood goes out of our finger, you know?
The harder you push, the more they align.
That's right, that's right. Okay, so I have everything lined up over here, but it's not on my magnet yet. So I'm going to use our grouping button to make this one object. Okay, so I'm going to hit our group button over here. And now, if I select off to the side, so nothing is selected, and I click on any part here, it selects it all, right? Because it's all grouped together. Now, if I want to center it on here, what do I select first? The frame, and why? What is that called then? The anchor. Okay, so I'll select my anchor first, hold the control key down, and then I'm going to hit one little button here that centers it up. And this is how they spell center in France. Oh. And now our magnet is all lined up, and I can go ahead and I can engrave that and cut it out. And I did not eyeball it; it'll be spot on lined up. Okay. Any questions on that?
I've had trouble with mine when I group stuff. If it comes group and I ungroup it, being able to get my text to work, to be able to change.
Let me talk to you about that a little bit later.
Okay.
But grouping and ungrouping, actually what it does, if you ungroup, you're actually ungrouping everything. So it could even be, you could be ungrouping, the letter E is actually made up of 2 objects. There's the outline, and then there's that little circle in the middle of the E. So ungrouping it, you're actually ungrouping the whole letter. Now, probably not in that specific case, but we'll talk about that a little bit later or in the other room. Okay, but this next step here is lining up to a pgram Dunn file. This is probably something that you're going to do often. Okay, so here I've got a little stick plaque. Pretty simple, right? But our designs obviously do not cover every single request that you have. You have people coming in and asking for anything and everything, which is great because this affords you the opportunity to make anything and everything. But what we need to avoid is spending 20 minutes on a $6 plaque, because that doesn't add up. So how to change out something here quickly? What I suggest that you do is actually keep what is there. Don't change anything that's on your file to begin with. And let's say we want to type, maybe somebody wants just one line of text here and then something else down below. So I will type, I'm real creative here, one line of text. And let me just make that a little bit bigger, and I'll change the font a little bit. And I can highlight the font and change the font size, or I can click and drag a corner too. That's another quick way of changing your font size. All right, so if I want that one line of text where the grandparents is, you can see that grandparents, that's already lined up. You know, if you go in here and type 2 lines of text, that's going to be automatically lined up for you because that's how the file started. But I'm going to use it as my anchor. Select one line of text, use my alignment toolbar here, and center it. And now I have a big mess, right? Click off to the side so nothing is selected. Click on the stuff I want gone and hit your delete button. And that leaves you with one line of text. And you don't have to spend all that time lining it up.
I love that.
Okay? And this, I'm telling you, this makes things go a lot quicker. Okay? All right. Let me back up. Let me back up because I also want to demonstrate. Let's say I want one line of text in there, but I don't want any of this. I have 2 objects in here. So if I were to, if I wanted to line it up over all of that, does anybody want to guess at what I need to group? All right. So we're going to select all the text in there, and we're going to group it together. So now it's like one object. Wherever I select, it selects all of it. I'm going to use that as my anchor. Hold the control key down, select my one line of text, and then hit the center button. And then I'm going to deselect everything. Just click off to the side. Click the stuff I want gone and hit delete. And I'm left with one line of text. Is this going to help anyone? We got a few murmurs of support.
Did you put this in writing for us?
It's better. I've got a video. We'll post it for you, okay? Actually, and I will make my overhead available too. I'll be posting that on our website as well. So, yeah.
The only problem is when you are trying to align it like that, and you want your new line of text, which yours just says one line, but a lot of times the customer will want to look at it and they can't tell, and I don't want to delete the anchor. So
Why don't you want to delete the anchor?
because then I won't have, if I want to adjust it or move it or change it, then it won't
The undo.
You make friends with your undo button.
Yeah.
Yep, just go ahead and delete it. It gives your customer an opportunity to see it, okay? And then you can always hit the back button to get back to where you were at.
then leave it and leave both items there and then change whatever.
So what you want to do is you want to then take it out of alignment. Right? Because maybe you just want to bring it up a little bit or down a little bit, something like that.
I was thinking more like if they wanted a different font, then it changes the size of the object.
Okay, but this centers it. So you can still change the font and it's still going to stay centered over that spot. And if you have any doubts about it, just back it on up, change the font, and then center it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Change that font.
You want me to change that font?
Change that font.
All right.
And let me see it. Take it out of the center.
Okay. Maybe it does. It's hard to say. I will tell you, it's on a line here. So you do have a valid point, okay? Despite that it doesn't look like anything changed up here, I think it would if you were, let me try something that's really, yeah, you could certainly do that. But what I would do is I would just back up, and so they've changed the font after you've done that. Just back up to where you were at, change the font at that point, and then line it up to your line it up to what was behind it. And use my alignment tools again here, and then we'll delete everything. Does that make sense?